Buffalo Bayou sees its first death investigation of 2026, renewing questions about what is going on out there. The Factor follow-up is coming your way tonight. But first, a new look at a decades-old serial killer investigation, and it legally requires the remains of the suspect to be dug up from his current gravesite.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts now.
California native Fernando Cota was a Vietnam veteran who died after killing himself. Because he was a vet, he was buried at the Fort Sam Houston Cemetery. However, U.S. Senator John Cornyn wants to drag his body from that sacred gravesite. Cota was also a convicted rapist who killed himself when police pulled his van over in Texas. And they found a dead woman's body in the back in 1984. Cota is suspected of being a serial killer, claiming the lives of at least a half dozen women in California. The family member of one of the victims also says Cota doesn't deserve to have Fort Sam as his final resting place, even though he wasn't ever convicted on any murders. And joining us tonight to talk about it, Texas State Representative Ron Reynolds and Andy Kahn of Crime Stoppers Houston. Glad to have you both here on the Factor Uncensored. Fascinating case from 1984. Andy, your thoughts about it. What are we missing here? More details about this guy.
I know serial killers, and I never even heard of this until you brought this to my attention. But then I started doing background on him. I mean, this was a bad dude. First of all, he's a convicted rapist. No one's denying that. He's out on parole, pulled over by police, takes his own life, and the reason probably he took his own life was because he's basically attributed and responsible for killing 6 women. One of them's already in the truck as well. So you can say alleged serial killer, but I'm fairly comfortable in saying he's a serial killer and a convicted rapist. And the bottom line was he's buried in a sacred place, a national cemetery for veterans, for people who served this country. And for one victim, that didn't set too well. And so he set on a quest. And that quest eventually was picked up by Texas Senator John Cornyn and Senator Ted Cruz and signed into law, where sometime this year they are going to remove whatever remains of him from the national veteran. And whether a family member buries him or whatever, the bottom line is he doesn't deserve to be in a cemetery with people who fought for this country.
All right. Representative Reynolds, your thoughts about this, and for those who are not quite clear on how Senator Cornyn can have his body exhumed, explain that clearly.
Absolutely, and I want to agree with Andy on this. This man was despicable, and we know that he's an alleged serial killer, but evidence points that he in fact was that, and that is one of the reasons why he killed himself. He committed suicide after Andy said that he was pulled over by the police. So here we have a law that was actually recently signed by President Trump in around December the 22nd. Senator Cornyn filed this piece of legislation that would require, that would prohibit a person who was convicted of certain offenses from being buried in a veteran cemetery. Obviously, this bill was just passed into law less than a month ago, and this person was convicted, and he died in 1984. This bill will allow the Secretary of Defense to actually send orders to have his body exhumed. So he will be removed.
And it's retroactive.
It's retroactive. Yeah. It's retroactive. When I first heard it,
we see a lot of people being...
I said, this is crazy. But the more I read and thought about it, this is a rare bipartisan piece of legislation that, as Andy said, these cemeteries are for our heroes and sheroes that have given their life and sacrifice for our country. This person doesn't deserve to be buried there. So I think that the family was right to impress upon Senator Cornyn to pursue this. And I don't think this person should have the dignity of being buried there, where we go and serve and salute these troops and veterans that have served our country with valor. So yes, this law can be applied retroactively, and I'm very happy that this family will be given some sense of dignity because this person won't be able to stay there.
You know, timing's everything in life, and if he had committed these acts or anytime after 84, there was actually a law in place that would not allow him to be buried. But because it was a year before that law went into effect, they had to pass this law, making it retroactive. It's very similar to what we had years ago when we had a serial killer, Elmer Wayne Henley. One of his victims was identified 28 years later. We tried to get crime victim compensation for the family to bury him, and we were told they weren't eligible because he was killed before the law went into effect. We actually had to pass a bill at the Capitol that basically allow any victims prior to 1984, coincidentally, to be eligible for crime victim compensation funds. Very
Do either
similar.
of you think we will have bad background hunters going through the list of veterans who may have died to say, okay, this person needs to be removed? And what is the threshold? What crime puts them on the list to have them exhumed? Do we know that as of yet? Or is it just what we assume is a bad crime, like
I think
murder,
a felony,
like rape?
crimes of moral turpitude, a very serious offense. And this person was the definition of someone who created serious offenses. You can't get more serious and heinous than murder and rape, and this person did both. So I can foresee that there could be a possibility, but Isaiah, I want to say this. This is one of those, again, rare bipartisan things. This is not Democrat, Republican. People on both sides of the aisle agreed that our nation's cemeteries reserved for our veterans should not be a place where people who commit these heinous crimes are buried. And I think that our tax dollars shouldn't be supporting pieces of crap like the man that we're talking about now. And I can see that there could be situations where others are uncovered and there's a move to get them disinterred as well.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be that many because we would have probably already known this by now. I think it's not going to be a panacea. There might be a few that'll trickle down there. But for those who are still interned in a veterans where they shouldn't be because they're convicted of a violent felony, then they need to go too.
All right. We want to thank you guys for joining us. Fascinating story. When I ran across it today, I said we definitely have to talk about it here on The Factor. Thank you, guys. Don't go anywhere. A brand new Trump time is on the way. Plus, Sinners was a huge blockbuster hit, but some say the movie star has gotten an early snub this award season. Keep it here. You're watching The Factor Uncensored. Don't go anywhere.
don't know. Now you know.
Welcome back to The Factor. It's Trump time. The White House's social media account at the center of controversy for using an iconic rap song featuring the N-word in a post. It celebrates the capture of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. Hypnotized by the notorious B.I.G. can be heard after a short clip of a past speech by Maduro daring anyone to come and get him. Plus, President Trump believes another impeachment could be in his future unless Republicans don't pull out a win during the midterms.
You got to win the midterms, because if we don't win the midterms, it's just going to be, they'll find a reason to impeach me. I'll get impeached.
And all of this comes as President Trump threatens to seize Greenland, a whole nother country. Let's turn it over to our guests to continue the conversation tonight. And from the University of Houston downtown, Professor Dr. David Branham and political analyst Dr. Dietrich von Biedenfeld. Man, are we getting drunk with power now here in the United States? We want Greenland, and we're considering, he said, let's consider military. It's a national security issue for the United States, and we have to have it.
Well,
and scratch my arm.
He's never going to take military off the table, ever. I think he saw Barack Obama do it one time, and he just said, "Oh, I will never do that." So when they ask him, and they always ask him because they can't help it, "Are you going to take military off the table?" "Oh no, I'll never do that." So it's a constant thing. But
now, how seriously should we take this?
I think we should take it very seriously. I think he wants Greenland.
He just took a whole president.
He did.
From his country in his bed.
He did, and he can walk right into Greenland and have it if he wants. That's not the issue. The issue is, NATO is a treaty that's long lasted. It's been there for decades, and it will definitely go away if he does that. There will have to be some either adjustment or just basically taking the United States out, and the other 31 countries have NATO. Something will have to be adjusted. A NATO as it is will not be able to go on if he goes into Greenland.
All right. Doctor.
At the end of the day, I think this is a cinematic president. From helping Macaulay Culkin find his way in the hotel to firing people, I think these things, when people say, "Oh, this seems like it's out of Air Force One," well, it may seem like a TikTok video. I think it's very prescient to say this is a president who looks at the optics and the presence of authority. And so image is very important, whether it's chastising reporters for catching him with three chins, or whether it's people catching him sleeping. He takes offense to this, he takes umbrage, and he handles it in a very forceful way. And I think the same way, he doesn't need NATO the way that NATO needs us, same way as United Nations. It's appreciable that international law is something discussed, but as his own special advisors have talked about, this idea of might makes right being a resurgent theme in this presidency, I don't think the idea of Greenland as a rare earth mineral depository, as a place, largest island on the planet that may have offshore oil reserves, and as a conduit for national security concerns for the former Soviet Union, now Russia. I think at the end of the day, he's saying America first. And while it may seem like we are projecting power overseas in a way that Marjorie Taylor Greene doesn't appreciate, maybe she should just go back to Georgia and be quiet, according to him. And at the end of the day, he's going to protect Americans and citizens and say, this is ours. And while I agree with Professor Branham that NATO has these tenets, these primary tenets of collegiality, democracy first, peaceable solutions first, and mutual security, at the end of the day, we are NATO. We rebuilt Germany with the Marshall Plan. France owes us a debt. Britain owes us a debt. So at the end of the day, I think this is a president who understands debt very well and wants to collect on it.
And are we looking at a form of evolving America first? Because his base has always been America first, meaning stay out of international affairs, deal with America. But now America first means we're taking Greenland because it's for America first.
Well, it's true, and I mean, he's
we have
thinking
30 seconds. Go
he's
ahead.
thinking in his mind that these NATO countries have basically gravy trained off of us all these years for decades. I mean, Denmark, the country involved here, they were down to 1% GDP in military spending. So he feels like the United States is owed something here, and so that's the reason he's going to use for a justification. Now, hopefully, it'll be peaceful. But I think in the end, he may be able to get Greenland.
All right, we'll see. Gentlemen, thank you. Still ahead tonight, a major factor follow-up as another body has been found in one of Houston's bayous. We're looking into that investigation next. Welcome back to The Factor. Happened again. Discovered another body in the bayou in the Houston area, this time an adult male at Buffalo Bayou around 2 this afternoon. The cause of death will be determined by the Harris County Medical Examiner. Police on the scene say the body wasn't likely there a long time. The remains were discovered by a cleanup crew on Main in the downtown area near the bayou near UHD. This is the first body found since the new year began. More than 30 bodies have been discovered in and around bayous in the Houston area since 2025, and Andy Kahn with Crime Stoppers is here to talk about it. People are going crazy on social media. They're saying we're hiding it. We're working with the police to hide the serial killer out there.
Yes, we all want a serial killer. Everybody's clamoring, bring the serial killer on.
No serial killer.
No, I got news for you. There's no serial killer. I understand the fever pitch because true crime is booming. It's everywhere, and everybody wants to feel part of it. And yes, there are bodies. I get it. But let me just put everything in perspective. There's no serial killer. Period. Number one, we have thousands of miles of bayous, and people, unfortunately, either stumble into them. You've got a homeless population that lives around the bayous. As a matter of fact, the one that was found today, that's one of the high-density areas where there's homeless people, and guess what? That's where a lot of the bodies have been found. So, to me, the bigger issue is we've got issues with our homeless population. We've got a lot of people that need mental health treatment that aren't getting it. And sometimes the body of water ends up being where bodies get deposited.
And of course, there have been murders also, but not like a serial killer that, to your knowledge, right?
No, period. The era of serial killers is pretty much over and done with. And that's mainly because of one word: technology. You cannot get away with what the greats of the serial killers in the 70s and the 80s, even the early 90s, were able to get away with. There's too many eyes and ears. There's too many cameras all over the place. Too many people would notice something. It's an unfortunate situation. I understand the clamor, why people want to believe there's a serial killer, but I'm going to put it to bed again. No serial killer. Sorry to bust your bubble.
Now, for those who say, well, why don't the police department, why don't law enforcement come out and say there is no problem? Here's what we think happened here.
You've had
but they do it today. I mean,
you've had the mayor, you've had the
want.
district attorney.
Got it.
I mean, I don't. There's nothing you can really realistically do to prevent people who unfortunately end up in the bayou. I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to have people posted everywhere? Perhaps maybe we should consider putting some cameras in these certain areas where there seems to be a high density where bodies turn out. That is something I do think needs to be discussed.
I think Precinct 1, they patrol sometimes, and they have boats on the bayou right near the downtown area. But that would require, having manpower out there 24/7 looking for something.
Correct. And again, like in today's situation, there was no evidence of any trauma. And the majority of the bodies that have been recovered, there's no evidence of trauma or any foul play or any criminal conduct.
Another important point you brought up, which I have seen because I've toured the bayou with the cleanup crew. They actually clean up the bayou, the water. And there are like communities of homeless people who live on the banks.
Yes.
They've created makeshift homes that are on the banks of the bayou. You can't see it from downtown Houston. You have to actually travel the bayou. But there's a whole population, a whole nother world there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you walk underneath, like where U of H downtown is, on Main Street over there, you're going to see the encampments over there. And it's problematic because when someone dies that's in a homeless encampment, what are you going to do with the body? I mean, did you ever see any of the bodies actually coming out, an ME examiner coming out there and claiming the body? I don't think we've seen any of that. So sometimes that's where the bodies
just push them off,
end up going.
Wow. But once again, no serial killer?
No serial killer, sorry.
Damn it.
Maybe next year. I'm an optimist.
If you find out, you need to break
I'll tell
it
you
here
what,
on the Factor
you will be
first.
the first to know if we have a serial killer, and I will do a mea culpa like you wouldn't believe
And
it.
I've already got a headline, Butcher on the Bayou.
That's it.
I'm
Sounds
waiting
like a
for it.
Dexter
All right.
show.
But our best to those families. It's just a
Absolutely.
tragedy out
It's a
there.
tragedy no matter how you want
All
to
right,
portray
Andy,
it.
thank you for joining us. Still
You
to
bet.
come on The Factor Uncensored, what will they say on social media next? Men who use Apple Pay come across as too damn soft. One woman says she'd rather see her man use cold hard cash than to flip out a phone and say, Apple, please. We'll explain ahead. And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Brigitte Waugh joins us now on The Factor, our fashion expert, to talk about two topics. Number one, Nicolas Maduro, the former president of Venezuela, arrested, taken into custody in a Nike tech or tracksuit. Now they're all the rage, Brigitte. They're selling out. People can't find them anywhere. Your thoughts about it, and why are now some saying it's being compared to what a criminal would wear?
Well, I mean, because they pictured Maduro as a criminal. So that's public opinion. And unfortunately, Nike has capitalized on it. Well, unfortunately, because now it's being sold out. And when you arrest someone, or was arrested, if you will, it's like he's a criminal. And so now they're attesting or comparing that particular tracksuit, if you will, to something that criminals wear.
Is that something you would wear in your household?
No, sorry. It's not my fashion sense.
Now let's take a listen at this really quick.
It is so sexy when a man pays in cash, all right? I feel like we have an epidemic of men using Apple Pay, which is for the girls, all right? At this point, for a guy to pick up the check for like 2 margaritas and 3 tacos, he's having to do the gay wrist. And I just like can't be subjected to it, okay? A pro tip to my men out there, all right? If you want to tap that, maybe stop tapping this.
Now that's a young lady who says she doesn't want her guy paying for anything with Apple Pay. She calls it when you tap, the gay tap or whatever. I don't know if you could even say that, but some people are finding it offensive. Others are laughing. Your thoughts about men not using Apple Pay to pay for anything because she says it's not masculine.
So how about you pay for it yourself? I mean, come on. Apple Pay, Samsung, whatever, it's being paid for. Who cares how he pays it? That doesn't make him non-manly, if you will, or not fashionable. Then pay for it yourself. That's all I have to say.
There you go. And we'll end it on that. Pay for it your damn self. All right, Brigitte Waugh, thank you for joining us. And of course, we can find you on Instagram, a fashion expert. We'll be back with more Factor Uncensored in just a moment.
You're watching The Isaiah Factor Uncensored.
Alrighty, welcome back to The Factor Uncensored and our second half hour. Award season is just getting started, but the controversy has already begun. This week, the MOB on social media, angry as hell. And we're talking about the mob over the Critics' Choice Awards. This is after Michael B. Jordan walked away without a Best Actor win for his box office hit Sinners. So what are people saying? Here's one reaction for you.
It has nothing to do with the quality of his acting and everything to do with Michael B. Jordan as an actor himself. I want y'all to keep in mind that Michael B. Jordan has consistently prioritized black narratives during his career. He is building a legacy built off the backs of prominent black films. The awards never go to the best actors. The awards goes to those who best serve to push the dominant narrative. And the fact that Michael B. Jordan refuses to do that is why they are punishing him. We don't need them awards for nothing. They're not important to our culture.
Oh, Jesus. The big winner in the category for actor was Timothée Chalamet for his role in Marty Supreme. Joining us to talk about it, break it all down tonight, Todd Smith, Regal Media, personality, Nate, and Jerry Madison Jr. of Black Cinema Club HTX. So, Jerry, let's begin with you. Your thoughts about, first of all, what this woman said, and your thoughts about Michael B. Jordan not getting the winner, the award for Best Actor.
Yeah, well, she went viral for a reason. Because that's how the people are feeling. And I think every time we see something like this happen, it hits us so viscerally because it's our people. And this has happened historically. So I believe that she really spoke for everybody. And as it pertains to me, it hits deeper because I am an actor myself and I'm a black man in this industry. So Michael B. has been, like she said, has been for years paving a way for me. So anytime I see him snubbed or I see him not honored, I am led to believe the same thing will happen to me. So it's kind of disgraceful in a way that he's not being honored for portraying these prominent black roles.
All right, and Nate, one of the things he said, he's black, I'm black, and I feel like he should win, obviously, for the work he's done, but do we sometimes get lost in that? We want to support the black actor, and we may not have seen Timothée Chalamet in Marty Supreme.
Yeah, most people haven't seen any of the other movies. And of course, it's like, you want everybody black to win, that feels good. I understand people being disappointed that their favorite actor did not win, However, Sinners was nominated for 17 Critic Choice Awards and went home with 4. So that's why I don't think the overall Michael B. Jordan not winning is necessarily racist. It got 17 nominations. He actually won Best Actor in the horror category in the Critics' Choice last summer. So he's been awarded already, and we know that with awards, there are politics as well. But for this, I don't believe it's racism.
All right, Todd, let's hear from you.
I don't believe it's racism either. Like Nate said, many people, let me say that, do not watch the majority of the movies that get nominated for these big awards. I am a film critic.
And really quick, most of these films are award season films.
Yes,
they're not
they are
hugely popular like Sinners.
They're not. And people were like, well, it's not doing good at the box office. A lot of Oscar winners and Golden Globe winners don't do well at the Oscars. But there is
Sophie's Choice. Was that him?
And
you don't even know that. I'm
there could be,
old.
but like Nate said, it's politics. Sometimes awards, I know a lot in music, they're paid for. So this might be for promotion to push a Marty Supreme or push Timothée Chalamet. Torre, the journalist, said Hollywood might be wanting him to be the next big star. You know what I mean? The big one. And he is a great star. He's talented. Sure. But before I got into being a film critic, I only cheered for the black movies because that's the ones I was paying my money for. But when I started opening up and watching all of these movies, sometimes when the black person didn't win, I couldn't get mad. People were like, Todd, say something. I don't think when Kavajane Wallace lost for Beast of the Southern Wild, I think it's when Jennifer Lawrence won for Silver Linings Playbook, I was like, Jennifer killed that. Y'all want me to criticize Kavajane not winning? I didn't even like her role. So when you broaden your...
I did like her role.
You did? All right. So but when you broaden your horizons, everything is not necessarily about race. And sometimes people bring their own cultural history and their family history into those movies, so black movies will resonate more with us. It might not resonate as much with the Jewish community. Schindler's List might not resonate with me as much as somebody whose grandmother survived the Holocaust. They hear those stories.
You want to hear about the Amistad.
So exactly. So you bring that in. The problem is we need more diversity, so we'll have different voices in the rooms. And I know some of those critics. I know people who vote for the Critics' Choice Awards. I'm friends with them. If black people, Hispanic people, yellow people, purple people do a good job, the ones that I know, they're going to give them their credit. So he just didn't win, and we're not going to win everything.
Jerry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, respectfully, I think it's always about race. It
has been historically.
And I think because representation matters so much, right? And in spaces like this that are always predominantly white, and you're continuing these narratives, you're not allowing these stories to exist, because film is so powerful, right? And the narratives that are shown on this big screen literally changed and shaped culture and lives. So every time someone gets snubbed, whether you call it a snub or not, you're taking away opportunities for people to see themselves, for black people to see themselves, right? So I think it's always about race. And as a fellow black artist myself, I will always champion the black artists, because the more that we are able to reach these heights, the more opportunities are going to open up, and then more of us can get into those rooms in order to make the decisions, right? So
And really quick, I want to get into this point because you brought it up about paid for it.
Yeah.
People don't realize when you go for an award, the critics are not like saying, let me pick this guy, he's the best. What they do, you submit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You pay to submit for that award.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then they pick from that.
Yeah.
But in between that, there's a whole PR campaign.
Yeah.
Yes, and
They're
Timothy
publicists.
Chalamet did wonderful with that
yeah.
PR campaign.
For sure.
I mean,
Swag, we get
unfortunately, yeah,
gifts.
he was going around with ping pong,
did
with
great.
guys with ping pong heads going
Yeah.
around, and those journalists who also voted for the Critics Awards, they're writing articles about that. So he's had already 3-4 months of non-traditional marketing that went along with it. So there's a lot of different factors, and there are several isms that do take a part,
sure.
you know, in everything.
Yeah, but I always thought that basically he talked about the racism part of it. And that's America. But I also believe that certain white voters, maybe of a different generation, a lot of times we're like, why is it the slave movies always winning? Why is it not the powerful Malcolm X?
One more damn
Because
slave movie.
Okay.
That's all my life
like,
I had to fight.
some of
slave movie after another.
Some people, that's all they can relate to.
Exactly.
They can't relate to just regular black life. They just know, oh, I learned about slavery in school. This is great. And we're looking at it like, I won't see that. We're looking at the Malcolm X.
Other cultures might, you know, like they love Schindler's List.
Yeah.
You know, they do want to see in those stories
Exactly.
of the overcoming of tragedy as well. So it really just depends.
Yeah.
And those 600 plus journalists, they're the ones that decided the Critics' Choice Awards. But I do think that for any artist, because I'm an artist, actor, and everything as well, to get recognized by your peers, I think is the most important, in my personal opinion.
I got a SAG card too.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Anna
You didn't know that, huh?
Yeah, Anna Emmy.
Two
yeah.
Emmys.
Yes, you do. Go ahead, my brother.
All righty. Who is ready to book more flights in 2026? Still ahead tonight. What you need to know before planning those trips. Stay with us here on The Factor Uncensored, where I have a SAG card and 2 Emmys. Welcome back to The Factor. Uncensored traveling in 2026, are you? Buckle up, a lot is changing, from real ID requirements to new airline rules, plus the hottest destinations everyone's booking this year. Joining us to break it all down for us, to pack your bags, Deidre Mathis, founder of Wander Stay Boutique Hotel. Glad to have you here on The Factor Uncensored.
Yes.
So what should we know as we prepare to travel in 2026?
Yeah, so the biggest thing, the most important thing is to make sure you're traveling with your real ID. And what that means is you want to make sure on the corner of your ID there's a yellow star. That means that you have a real ID. If you do not have a real ID, then you need to travel with your passport. If you don't, you face paying $45 fine when you get to the airport. Yeah, $45. So they need to run a security check on you, TSA.
That's a hustle.
It is. And you're not even guaranteed to catch your flight. So the moral of the story is to travel with that real ID or bring your passport just in case.
Now, for those of us who are in Texas, is that automatic? What?
Yeah, so starting in 2016, so if you got your ID updated from 2016 on down, then you should be good. 2016 up until now, 2025, 2026, you should be good. But again, check and make sure, because maybe you didn't and you don't want to find that out once you get to the airport.
And you're looking for that yellow star.
Just look for the yellow star in the corner of your ID. If you see that, you're good to go. If not, go ahead and make an appointment to go get that real ID. But in the meantime, if you have travel or trips coming up, make sure you bring that passport.
And of course, right now, America doesn't have the best reputation around the world. So what concerns should we have when we're traveling abroad, and are there some countries we should not approach right now?
No, I think, there's a lot of places that are on the 2026 hot list, a lot of, cool places to visit. I think we just have to be smart where we travel, right? But I don't think there's any place that I would say, be cautious or don't visit. Instead, I would focus more on the places that we should visit, right? So I know in 2026, one of the hottest places now is going to be Japan. Japan is a really hot country. People are flocking to Vietnam, which I personally traveled to 2 years ago. Very cheap. Your dollar goes really far, very beautiful. Domestically, Fort Walton Beach in Florida, my home state, is getting rave reviews. It's less busy than the Destin or the Panama City. Beautiful ocean, more quiet, laid back. So there's a lot of places that people should check out.
And I
this
heard
year.
something about Montana. Who wants to go to Montana?
Yes. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful.
Sorry,
so Big Sky, Montana.
No,
Big Sky, Montana is beautiful. Mountains, year-round, great weather, and there's actually a direct flight from Houston. So you fly from Houston to Bozeman, and then you get an hour drive, and then you're there. So traveling there is pretty simple.
Very picturesque, I'm
very
sure.
Beautiful.
But
very
a
beautiful.
lot of people go and they forget to have a good time because they're taking Instagram photos.
Yeah,
and
you got to be in the moment.
Yeah, enjoy.
You got to be in the moment and just enjoy. I mean, when I'm cold, my hands are cold. I don't like to have it out filming and recording anyway. But you just like to be in the moment, right? And just have those moments that maybe you record 20 or 30 minutes out of your day. But yeah, you don't want to be on your phone the whole time, and the trip just gets ahead of you.
Some of these airlines are getting cheap as hell. You can't use your points. All our lives we had to fight.
I know.
So what are some of the airlines we should be aware of when it comes to using points or any other changes that I know Southwest with the no free bags anymore?
So American Airlines has said after December of last year, 2025, that you're no longer going to get any mileage points if you buy their cheap economy tickets, right? So if you buy that cheap flight, you're going to get that deal, but you're not going to get any points. And so you just have to weigh, the pros and cons of booking that flight. And then for Southwest, you're right. Those 2 free blats, we could say goodbye to those. They're phasing that out. And they're also phasing away the open seats. So Southwest is going to more assigned seats, more traditional airline. So those are all those plans are going to implement this year and change. So I just tell folks, make sure you read those emails, make sure you know before you go. That's the most important thing. You don't want to find out when you're at the airport. So make sure you read all those emails before you leave your house.
And you've taken using points to an art form.
Oh, yeah.
Is that still worth pursuing for the traveler out there who wants to travel on a budget?
Oh, yeah. Well, let's be honest. Credit card interest rates are pretty high right now. And so the trick to that is to be able to use your credit card and pay it right off. So if you're still able to do that, absolutely. I've been able to fly all over the world with flight points. So just simply swiping your credit card for a purchase that you were going to make anyway, get those airline points and pay it right off. I mean, you can't beat that. It's literally free travel.
Okay.
If you pay it right off.
And congratulations on Wander Stay
Thank
Hotel.
you. Thank you.
Who was the latest celebrity? You have a lot of celebrities there now.
We've had Amanda Seales, we've had T.S. Madison, we've had a lot of local Lene Vinay. We've had a lot of just amazing folks to give us just so much, just respect and just love and just admiration.
And it's an incredible facility.
Thank
I
you.
went there. It's top of the line. for those who want to find out more about it. And you have two
Absolutely.
locations.
Yes.
Well, you have the hostel and the boutique hotel.
Exactly.
Where
And
can
we'll
they
be
find
3
out
this
more?
May. So you can
Oh,
book
3
up.
this
We'll
May.
be 3.
We'll be
Time
there.
has flown by. Yes. So Wonder Stay Boutique Hotel, we have almost a 5-star rating on every single platform. And thank you to our amazing guests who have just stayed with us and love what we offer. As a small business owner, that just means the world when people come stay with me and love it. We have people walking around with their shoes off and they're just comfortable walking on the bare floor. That means a lot to me as a hotelier. So thank you.
Oh.
But yes, if you have friends or family coming to town, and you want to stay near downtown, Wonder Stay Boutique Hotel is going to be the best place, especially this year with the World Cup and all the rodeo. Make sure you send them our way.
All right, absolutely. Always good to see you. And we'll
Yes.
be back with more Factor Uncensored. Patrick Jones is waiting. Internet security. Get ready. Stay with us. Welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Let's be real, 9 times out of 10, if you're checking email, you're using Gmail just like everybody on the planet. And that's why this story, has people talking tonight. A new report says Google may be using certain Gmail data to train its AI, and many users say they didn't realize they opted in. We're talking personal emails, attachments, private conversations. This is raising big questions about privacy in the age of AI. So what does this mean for you and I, and what should you be doing and checking right now? Joining us to talk about it, our tech expert, Patrick Jones. Glad to have you here. Should we be surprised in this day and age? It's not like we're going to ever read the agreement when we sign up for anything.
At all. So yes, a long time ago, meaning back in Q4 of 2025, in fact, October timeframe, there was this long consent form that was sent out, right? Of course, you're not going to read it because it's like 15 pages.
Right.
However, in that consent form, what they did is they slipped in the smart feature, okay? And what the smart feature
and that sounds helpful.
It sounds
on the
helpful.
surface.
In fact, it is helpful because a lot of you all are utilizing Gemini, which is the AI smart feature that it's your personal assistant, right? You can use it to do whatever it is that you want it to do. However, in that consent form, you have now given Google Gmail the ability to scan every web or every email, okay? Every document within those emails, every chat as well, okay? So if you don't want Google Gmail to have access to that level of detail, then you need to opt out.
So, the question is, I don't even know how I opted in. So how do I even begin with opting out?
Right, so a lot of people don't know that they opted in. However, there's two components where you can actually opt out, okay? You have to go to the settings feature. Once you go to the settings feature, you need to look for the smart feature within settings. Click on that underneath that, right? Once you click on it, then you have the ability to opt out. So there's about 4 to 5 steps in order to do that. This is what I would instruct you all to do. Okay? Why don't you go to Google and Google how to opt out of it? Okay? Once you do that, in fact, you can use Gemini to do it. So once you do that, you will have.
I trust Gemini now. Gemini seems like he's working for the man.
Well, I think so. I think the man in the popo. Right. But yes, so you can do that, and it will give you instructions on how to opt out.
Now, what I always do if I want to learn or go step by step, I pull up a YouTube video. There's probably somebody, why don't you create a YouTube video?
You know what? I think I'm going to.
There you go, and we'll spread it around.
That's right.
But when you opt into something like this, your privacy is gone when it comes, because you've given it away.
Precisely.
And so people are now filing there is a lawsuit filed as a result of this.
Right. So as of right now, there's a class action lawsuit that's filed.
Now, okay. We may need to opt in on that to get something.
Yes.
Get some of that change.
So what happens, you're dealing with one of the largest tech companies out there, okay? Of course, they're secure because there was a consent form, right? Not everybody realizes that they did give consent to it because you're not reading through it. However, we have to let this play out, okay, in the court system. But I don't see any merit for any type of payout.
Will Google likely just settle just to make it go away?
Yes.
You know, and give you some free data storage? You know, you're never going to get any money from them.
Right.
But they may give you a perk or something extra.
Exactly. So a lot of people have utilized Gmail for years, right?
Yes.
Over a decade. That's me as well. I'm right underneath a decade. And oftentimes you're exceeding the limit from a storage perspective. So you may have $199 per month that you signed up for in order to retain all of your emails that you have from a storage perspective. I could see them coming back and saying, hey, look, you'll have 3 months of free storage or 6 months of free storage, depending upon the severity.
All right. Okay. And for those because we're going to wait for that video from you, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram, Patrick Tycoon Jones, and rest assured, in the morning there will be a video.
All right. We'll look forward to it, Patrick. Okay. Still ahead here on The Factor Uncensored, a nearly naked thief goes on the run. Next, the video, and why police say he ditched his clothes while committing a crime. Stay with us. Welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Video from Georgia now. You're looking at it. A suspected car thief definitely has heads turning.
Yeah. Are you looking for a guy that's running around in boxers?
Where is he?
He was down there, dude.
There he is. There he is. Police say the man only had on a towel and those boxers while running through a neighborhood. They say that's because chlorine spilled on his clothes after he stole his company work truck. He then stripped down to the skivvies to avoid the chemical burns. But police say he decided to break into a home and steal another car. What were you left to do, Phil, right? Officers pulled him over and arrested him. He's now facing a very long list of charges. Hey, he had to find a way. Thank you guys for joining us. Have a good night. See you back next time. All right, great show, guys.
Ready to lose track of time the best way possible?
Rolling!
From the funniest videos to the wildest things online, we do the scrolling so you don't have to.
Is it Usher?
He had that synthetic hair melting. You hear me?
Why y'all talking about that lady hair like that?
Ain't he alone?
Watch Scrolling with Jen and V. We're on 5 nights a week.
Louder for the people in the back.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is a late-night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
I'm saying those older folks. I ain't saying you.
Okay,
I ain't
all
saying
right.
those older folks. But
She's always looking out for you.
usually I go straight for the Uncrustables.
She makes you think.
We were talking about dating, you talking about beds. I'm like,
She's always encouraging.
you are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime. Chatting with Chelsea.
Well, on Fox Face Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And shut the hell up. You interrupt me all the time.
Tune into the show where opinions collide.
Ready to lose track of time the best way possible?
Rolling!
From the funniest videos to the wildest things online, we do the scrolling so you don't have to.
Is it Usher?
He had that synthetic hair melting. You hear me?
Why y'all talking about that lady hair like that?
Ain't he alone?
Catch us every weeknight, 7 p.m. Central on Fox Soul.
Louder for the people in the back.